and welcome to the program. I am Sharon Ijason. This episode is full of interesting stories. Recently, some workers of the Ikeja Electricity Company were sacked. Their sack might have brought a bit of relief to the company, but it has caused a wave of angry reaction. These and more are our focus this week. As usual, let's go for the labor news. We'll be right back. The World Work Decent Day was celebrated across the world. The 2017 theme to mark the day was titled End Corporate Greed. The Nigerian Labour Congress visited several companies in Lagos to picket companies accused of putting workers through precarious work conditions, especially casualization of staff.
For more than 5 years, 10 years, 12, 15 years, workers have been casualized. The dignity in labor in casualization is eroded. No casual worker is entitled to pension, not because of gratuity. There is no leave for them, no maternity leave, there is no right for them at all. These are workers that are accepted from the welfare package of such organizations, of which consolidated party where we are today is one of the leading companies in Lagos State in the act of actualization and anti-unionization.
At Consolidated Business Holdings, the human resource manager and other management team members met with the Nigerian Labour Congress. They spoke about the welfare of their staff.
What we have here is an apprentice, and we give them 15,000 naira per month. They will sign to learn printing. They come and sign an agreement to learn printing for a period of years, I think 3 years, 4 years. And every individual in this company understands our problems. You understand? So, and we've explained to them from their meeting today.
Workers believe that the Work Decent Day is another opportunity to remind employers of labor of the need to improve workers' welfare. More than 100 workers of different unions took to the streets to mark the World Day for Decent Work. General Secretary of the National Union of Textile Garment and Tailoring Workers of Nigeria, Comrade Issa Aremu, who is also the President, Industrial Hall Global Union, and African Region President, said Nigerian workers deserve decent work conditions, while obnoxious policies hindering freedom of workers must be abolished.
We are opposed to casualization, outsourcing of labor. We are opposed to precarious work, and we are using today to reaffirm the dignity of labor as contained in our constitution as well as Nigerian labor laws. Workers have the right to live in a minimum wage. Workers have the right to pensions after they have diligently served the enterprises they work with. And workers have the right to life.
Workers have a right to organize themselves, to come together, to defend the rights of their employment. And unfortunately, what we are having in the country today is outsourcing, contract labor. In fact, we are going back to the era of slave labor. And that is why it is very, very necessary that we come together to fight this cause.
Campaigning against the precarious work day. And what it means is the opposite of a decent work. Decent work requires a good living wage. And that is why we are saying that as of today, agreement of 2010 on 18,000 minimum wage can no longer sustain any worker. So it's long overdue. And we are calling on the federal government. They have a responsibility.
The International Confederation of Trade Unions has urged international financial institutions to help boost workers' income around the world by supporting a strengthening of weakened collective bargaining rights and an expansion of universal social protection. The ITUC General Secretary Sharon Buron said the increased wages will do so much to reverse the fall in workers' income share in most countries, stop the increasing inequality, and increase global demand to sustain economic recovery. Senior officials of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees have visited the Katsina State House of Assembly in a rally to agitate for local council autonomy in the country. The rally, which was attended by local and national members of the organization, was led by its president. He insists that granting autonomy for local government would end agitation for restructuring in the country.
Any society where the exclusive approach to governance is the order of the day, we will witness a lot of crisis, chaos, confusion, and criminal activities in the society, and that is exactly what we are passing today. In a situation whereby in Nigeria today you cannot move freely from Abuja to Kaduna, look at the proximity and how busy that road is, and how many number of local governments are there between Abuja to Kaduna. Because of the important nature of local government rendered by this state government and political elites in our country, this problem of insecurity is everywhere.
Christian Omone is a former staff of the Ikeja Electricity Company. He and the other workers were disengaged from work due to non-performance. Christian says he had been working in the power sector since 1988, first with the National Electric Power Authority (NEPA), which later became Power Holding Company of Nigeria. It was in the wake of privatization that he got a job offer with Ikeja Distribution Company as a marketer. Having lodged 28 years of experience in the electricity sector, Christian tries to make a comparison between working in the public and private sector.
In PACN, it was still government, and probably the issues of corporate governance were like paramount to those who felt it was not being run properly. But I can say that Nigerians were far better off in PACN than the privatization era, because the privatization was itself a fraud. Fraud in the sense that the supposedly capital that was supposed to have been brought to turn the place around was not there, and we are now beginning to hear that it was rather just a new Africanist political partitioning of our national patrimony by some people who call themselves politicians but are just prodigal sons of this country, and that is why it's not working. So the so-called investors are not investors but politicians who wanted to take over our national property, and that is why it's not working. If PACN has remained and maybe management has entered, our government has entered into a management contract, maybe we would have been better off.
He alleges that poor performance was not the reason Ikeja Electricity sacked him and the other workers, as it was a yearly ritual at the company to lay off workers.
The issue of poor performance is relative to what parameters they want to use as a measurement for poor performance. Secondly, just like my house now, a marketer who manages my place cannot come now and tell me I must pay bill when I know every evening I will buy fuel of 1,000 naira and you're going to give me a bill of nearly 15 to 20,000 naira, and you want me to pay it. I'll raise issues. Do you understand? So what it means is that the so-called poor performance is not a direct reflection of the effort of the involved staff. It's a lot of things combined, including operational, institutional, and of course, the service availability. So somehow, it's also a company policy thing. The people in Ikeja Electric, I think they have issues, they have phobia for people who were former PACN staff, and they did not hide it. So it's like a policy of the company that they want to do away with everybody that has had something to do with PACN. And that's also part of the reason why they are not doing well. Because places where they have embraced the old PACN staff with their expertise and experience, they are doing far better than them. That is the truth.
I recently had a chat with the public relations officer of Ikeja Electricity Company, who took the opportunity to address the allegations.
I mean, there are reasons why employees and employers can disengage from. Both parties have the right to disengage at any point in time, and it's actually a contractual agreement that has been signed from the beginning. So as an employer, if you think that certain individuals do not align with your goals and objectives, you can decide to ask them to leave. And also, if you are an employee and you think that the company does not suit what your aspirations or goals, you can also decide to leave. So these are contractual agreements that have been signed, and I think that both parties have the right to exercise these contractual agreements at any point in time. So that's what has happened in this case. 10 employees were disengaged from the business for certain reasons, and I mean, disengagement from the business is not the first step. I mean, there must have been a series of engagement with employees. Look, the philosophy behind some of these actions or exercises, because you are trying to create a more efficient business place, and then you're also trying to offer your customers a lot of a better customer experience.
After 28 years in service, Christian Omone believes privatization of the power sector has been a total rip-off as erratic power supply continues to create rolling blankets of blackouts across the country.
Well, yes and no. Everybody wants much better electricity than they get. That's the truth of the matter. But compared to what existed some 2 years ago, it's relative improvement. Unpredictable, but it's a little better than it was before. And that's my honest opinion.
Well, we do, but it's just as if we don't. At least it's there, but it's not regular. When I say regular, I mean, at times it will just be maybe 1 or 2 hours a day, and it won't come again till around maybe 9 at night. They will take it, and then it's not regular. It's not what anybody can just appreciate. For now, we don't consider ourselves having electricity at all.
Electricity, as far as I'm concerned, now we'll give God the glory, because unlike before, it was epileptic. But one thing with light is, I suppose light is supposed to be in the midnight, because that's the essence of light, so that people will not be in darkness. But in my area, what I notice is that we don't normally have light at night. Though morning till night now, there will be light from morning till around 7 o'clock in the evening. But 7 o'clock in the evening till midnight, there is no light. So I want them to improve on the electricity supply.
I cannot say much about the light because I know enjoy light very well. Because I'm from house now, I used to be paid for our house. One day on, 3 days off. That's why. So why do you give us the paid without nothing? No light, no enjoyment for light. That is it.
Yes, we are enjoying it here.
We are enjoying it. So
yes, at least there are 20 hours
in a day.
In a day.
So